Yo, what is going on, guys? John back with another video, and today, man, I will be talking about the New Orleans Pelicans future. On June 15th, 2019, the New Orleans Pelicans and the Los Angeles Lakers made a blockbuster deal centered around superstar Anthony Davis. We all knew that Anthony Davis was going to eventually get traded, and he made that very apparent as well, especially when he wore a "That's all, folks" shirt in his last home game in New Orleans. This trade to the Lakers was well overdue and probably should have been made during last season, but then Pelicans GM Dell Demps was reluctant to accept any deals involving AD and was very stubborn as well. If I'm not mistaken, it was reported that the Lakers were willing to part with basically their whole entire young core in order to get AD, but in actuality, the trade didn't get finalized until this offseason, when the Pelicans hired former Cavaliers GM David Griffin to be their new GM. Trade talks between the Lakers and Pelicans started to ramp up, and eventually the deal was done, and Anthony Davis would end up on the Lakers in exchange for Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and 3 first-round picks. The Pelicans' future before the trade wasn't that bright, and they had an unhappy superstar player, which is not what you want to see. So the Pelicans made a smart move to bolster their future, but so far the season hasn't working out well, and but it's only the first year of their rebuild, so you can't imagine that their problems will all be solved in a matter of a couple months. They lucked out in the 2019 NBA draft lottery and got the first overall pick, and selected highly touted prospect Zion Williamson, who hasn't played at all this season due to a meniscus tear. At this point in time, their lineup for the future will be Jrue Holiday at the 1, who's been rumored to be on the trading block, but does offer some veteran presence on a very young team. JJ Redick at the 2, who's also been rumored to be in trade discussions and also offers some veteran presence on a rebuilding team. Brandon Ingram at the 3, who's improved a ton this year and is solidifying himself as one of the best young players in the NBA and in the most improved player of the year discussions. At the 4 right now, they have Kenrich Williams, who also is very young, but he'll probably be on the bench when Zion Williamson returns, and we can finally see what he can do in the NBA. At the 5, they have Derek Favors, another veteran who's been playing pretty decent this year, averaging 7 points and 8 rebounds per game and 20 minutes per game. They also have a pretty decent bench, including former number 2 overall pick Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Jackson Hayes, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jahlil Okafor, Frank Jackson, Nico Melli, who reminds me of Nikola Mirotic as well. Are 7-23 this year and 14th in the Western Conference. Their future is looking pretty bright, especially if they trade Lonzo Ball and Jrue Holiday for some, and also JJ Redick, benefit them. All in all, props to David Griffin for getting a really good haul for Anthony Davis and making good moves in the offseason to make his team better. I actually had pretty high hopes for the Pelicans this season, but you've got to remember that they have to build their chemistry together for them to be at their best, and you have to also remember that they have a lot of money to spend in free agency, especially with the 2021 offseason, which includes stars like Victor Oladipo, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard, just to name a few stars. This is also the year that Jrue Holiday becomes a free agent, which is why it makes sense for them to look for a trade for him. The Pelicans also have 3 first-round picks from the Lakers that they can either trade away or use them to bolster up that team and maybe even get some hidden gems. But yeah, the Pelicans have a crazy bright future, and there's nothing outside of the Zion Williamson injury to be worried about. You can't rush a rebuild. It's better to take time and make sure everything is perfect than to rush it and mess the whole process up. The art of rebuilding is a marathon, not a sprint, which is why you have to be patient with it. If everything works out for the Pelicans and everyone progresses well, then their future will be bright, but only time will tell. But other than that, man, that is the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to if you guys are new, and I'm out, man. Peace.